Welcome to the Y Connect podcast. As the heartbeat of the community, the Y is a connector where people of all ages and walks of life come together to elevate their health, wellness, education, and essential life skills. Hear the stories of impact and join the authentic conversations where together we'll discover the journeys and pathways people take to connect through the Y. Now your hosts, Zarina, Robert, and Allison.
And it is just the two of us today. Hi, Robert.
It is. We've done this one time before, and I know you and Zarina did it before, but you're a veteran at this now.
You're Zarina is taking a much well-deserved day off. It is President's Day weekend as we record this.
Absolutely.
So we will survive without her, but we miss her all the same.
Absolutely, we do. Absolutely.
You doing well?
I am. It was a fruitful weekend. Worked a little bit with the Morehouse REACH program.
Oh, fantastic. On Saturday.
Which is the mentoring program, mentoring program with the partnership that we have with Morehouse. And then Montiel, Miss Mita, and I all supported Morehouse as well in their Candle in the Dark celebration, which is their annual celebration that kind of culminates their Founders Week. So it was a busy week. Montiel got me into a suit because it's a formal affair. So I had to take my sweats and my... It's a little different.
I bet you look
used
great.
To the role.
Oh, well, you can hear the laughter in the background of our guests. So let's go ahead and get to it. So in this episode, we are thrilled to continue our conversation about the Y's Reach and Rise program. It's the mentoring program that we talked about a year ago. Today, we have a special lineup of guests joining us to share their personal journeys and the insights into the program's impactful work. We're joined by Bella, a mentee who's been actively engaged in Reach and Rise, as well as other Y youth experiences. Tracy, Prosper Fussell, a mentor and a dedicated mother of 3 children and a bonus son. Courtney Hennigan, Bella's mom, who previously worked with youth in foster care and special education. And returning guest, Erika Swales, the Reach and Rise program director who fosters these connections. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you.
Well, we definitely appreciate everybody taking the time out for today and coming out and sharing your experience. We know the success of the Reach and Rise program, so we love hearing these stories. I'm going to begin with you, Courtney. What motivated you to enroll Bella in the Reach and Rise mentoring program, and did you have any specific goals for the experience?
So Bella has cerebral palsy, which has led to her having some pretty unique experiences. She has siblings. She's very lucky that we're in a community where she can be very active, but we found that we were getting involved in the same activities, the same kids over and over and over. And then there was an incident in school where Bella was the victim of some bullying via, cell phones and stuff like that. And we got that handled through, the judicial process. But it really highlighted how easy it was for Bella to get caught up in this tiny little world where she was only seeing the things that were happening in that situation. So at that time, I was working with adults in a social work capacity. And so someone through that job informed me about the mentorship program with the Y, and we applied. And I think we'd actually applied right before the bullying thing happened. And Kismet, Erika called us like 2 weeks after that happened. And here we are. And it's been probably one of the best things that's ever happened to us. Bella volunteers there. She's there almost every weekend. She loves going. It's really expanded her universe, which is, what we were looking for.
I love it. Bella, I also want to point out if they're listening and they're not watching this on YouTube, that you have wonderful hair. And I know you have a passion for different colors. And right now it looks like you've got a little shade of purple in your hair. Tell us about that.
Yes. That's gotta go to my mom for that.
I love it.
She does hair.
She does a great job. Well, tell us about your experience being involved in the Y's Reach and Rise program.
Okay. I love volunteering there. Especially things like the camp and return as AOC this year. when I was at camp, I was a little bit nervous at first. Cause like, I've been to other camps like it, but not exactly that camp. But then I made a whole bunch of friends. It was a good experience for me. I loved my cabin, especially my cabin mates. Yeah. I went tubing. Yeah. And the Braves game, that was a lot of fun too.
So you went to a Braves game with the Reach and Rise program, the mentoring?
Yes,
Okay.
with Miss Erika and then a few other people. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Sounds like it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. My favorite part of the Braves and soccer game would be being on the Jumbotron.
Oh, yes.
The
You made it to the
Jumbotron.
Jumbotron.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes, we got on the Jumbotron. Yes.
Yeah. So it was both Braves and the soccer game. We got on the Jumbotron. At the Braves game, we got on it for like a second. Because they were like showing someone there. And then, I was just sitting down with of the people in the Regional Arts program with, the soccer games. And while Miss Erika was in line to get food, we got on the Jumbotron. It was, I'm like, what the frick? Twice. But yeah, I like the Region Rise. Back in the fall, I volunteered at this spectacular program with Miss Erika, which was fun. Loved it. Little kids were crazy, but I'm used to it. I guess siblings, 4-year-old is crazy, but yeah.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Yes.
Miss Tracy, what led you to become a mentor with the YMCA Reach and Rise program?
Well, actually, we just moved a few years ago, and my daughter started working at the Y. So she's worked at the different camps, and she works at the Y as well. And one day she was like, Mom, I think you would be a great mentor, for the Y. I was like, yeah, why not? You know what I mean? So I ended up starting with, as far as like with Erika, we started doing the classes and what have you. I mean, I mentor in other settings, like work settings and even like personal settings. So it was a no-brainer. But what I loved most about the way that they trained you, the setting, and how much care they take into like matching you, so they took into my background. I'm a nurse, and originally I was a pediatric nurse. Now I'm what they call paper nurse. I work with the insurance company. But so now I got to, actually have more personal contact with children like I used to before. But now I'm not necessarily as a caretaker, but more so as a, someone that you're talking to now, a little bit. I think that setting is a little bit better. You know what I mean? And I found that not only can I learn from them, but as they're learning from me, I can learn a lot as well. So that's what it drew me to it. I'll be honest, it was Erika that made it even better, as far as the structure, we went through. I love the care that they took into preparing us, for what how to feel about it, how to gauge, the good and the bad, because they're not promising you like a perfect marriage in mentoring, but they're doing their best behind the scenes to make sure that they match you. So that was my reasoning to go ahead and go forward with as far as with the why.
I love that your daughter was the one that really encouraged you to do it. That says a lot about your relationship with your children too.
Definitely. Yeah, we're very close. She's actually was in class with me as well. And she's worked at, I think, both camps actually, so Bella knows her. And yeah, moving here, the Y feels like a community, every so often there's someone or another. They're very loving, especially at that particular one, so it made it easy.
I love that. Erika, bridging off what Tracy said, understanding that building trust between a mentor and a mentee is a crucial part of it. How do you help ensure mentors and mentees feel comfortable and supported in their experience, like Tracy talked about you? What are you doing with that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, to continue on, I guess, from what Tracy was saying, one of the things I was going to bring up was we start out with training our mentors. So in a lot of mentoring organizations, they get very little training. They're kind of matched with somebody and then sent off, to continue with the mentoring. So in our program, we do 15 hours of training, which is spread out over 4 to 5 weeks. We go over a lot of scenarios, do a lot of role plays. So just preparing the mentors for being a mentor in this capacity. And then as far as for the families and the mentees, for me, it starts with the family meeting. We have a family meeting. We sit down, just getting to know everybody. I feel like I like to be very transparent about myself and the program, and making connections and building relationships is really what it's all about, the whole program, and I get very connected with the families, with the mentees. And so I feel like I build that trust up, from the get-go with them. But throughout the program, we offer continual support. So we do monthly check-ins with the mentees, the mentor, and the parents or caregivers. And we're always checking in, asking, if there's anything they need, talking through things. And it's not always mentoring related. Like Bella and I talk about all kinds of different things, but Tracy may talk to me about things that are coming up, or about things that they've talked about that need some help with or advice. So we're here to support them throughout the whole process. And just to go back, the matching part, as Tracy said to me, is very important. And sometimes even if I have a mentee and a mentor at a certain location, if I don't feel like that it's going to be a good match, there has to be a little bit of magic there, right? I call it it's a kind of like blind dating, and you kind of put these two people together. But I always feel like there has to be something there to make me want to be like, yes, these two, I think we can make a go of it. This is going to be good. And so I think it's just that whole personal. I hope that my families and the mentors feel like that very just personal touch to our mentoring program. It's not just about numbers and how many matches we have, but about the people that are involved in it.
Yeah, that's fabulous. That's fabulous.
That quality is important. Quality is definitely important. Bella, this question is for you. And you've made it very, very clear to us that you enjoy the Reach and Rise program.
Yes.
How are you establishing trust and open communication with Miss Tracy?
Usually my parents always tell me hey, kid, check in with Tracy or whatever. Or maybe try to FaceTime her. So some days we would try to FaceTime. And we would maybe try to meet up as possible unless one of us is out of town. So, yeah.
A lot of regular communication, I think, is what we found works.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like it. It sounds like it goes both ways. So the fact that you would take that initiative to reach out and do a FaceTime or call or text or email, I think it's amazing.
You can definitely tell that Bella's supported, in whichever way that we can be in contact. I actually look forward to, I found out that we actually have better ways that we can even expand, on maybe showing up to each other's family games, activities, to really foster more than just a regular, we're FaceTiming or we're taking a class together, but we can actually engage more so, with the family,
And I will say, the way it's structured, it's made it very easy to establish that trust. Erika does a great job facilitating these relationships. We've had a lot of trust, I think, from the beginning. It's been wonderful.
Sounds like a real partnership. So, Courtney, I have a question for you. How has having a mentor impacted Bella's life from your perspective and her well-being?
Well, it has taken a lot of weight off of us, just that there's another human being that's keeping eyes on my child and that's checking in with her and that she can, talk to if she's not necessarily comfortable with us. Ideally, you want your teenager, especially your teenage daughter, to be comfortable to come to you about anything, but we know that that's just not always the case. And sometimes, we work. Sometimes we're not available. We do have a 4-year-old that demands a lot of attention. So for Bella,
Definitely true.
Yeah, for Bella, it's become that missing piece that when she needs to get away from us, she has a respite. She has a place to go where she feels comfortable and safe and supported.
I really, really like that. And I loved how Tracy and Courtney, you all kind of played off each other. And to have a partner in parenting, goodness, what an absolute blessing.
Oh, yes. It's truly wonderful.
And we actually, as mentors, have a perspective on the parents in a way. Like, I don't think Courtney even begins to understand like Bella's understanding as far as her as a role. Like last week we were talking, and she in showing, pictures and showing all of this, and we started talking. I would ask her questions. And she made this comment about her mom, which I mentioned to Erika, and I hope I can share it. If not, it's too late. But Bella has put me on the spot many times, so I'm going to put her on the spot. So she made it very clear. She said, yeah, I found that I was able to see, she's like, I love my mom a lot. We sometimes we bicker, we whatever they say. And then she said to me, this was a part that that touched me deeply. And I couldn't wait to share it with Courtney. She said, my mom had me. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, that was another subject. Yeah. It got a little serious, and as you can see, Bella's very, she's charming. She's funny, she's vivacious. And then she got a little serious, and she said to me that, my mom had me when she was young, and my mom's always had to do like a lot of work she works very hard. Yeah. She says, my mom works very hard to give me my life and give me the life that I have. And when I heard her say that, I'm like, a lot of times kids have, or parents don't know how much their children appreciate them, and sometimes it might take something as a third party or an outsider that has that perspective on how much respect that she has for, her mother's role, her mom's sacrifices, and understanding even her own diagnosis, her own limitations, and how her mom's always tried to fortify her, in a lot of ways, so that was my takeaway from that. And like I said from the beginning, sometimes you think that you are doing something for someone else and then they are giving you something. So it's hard to see teenagers and think that, they understand everything that you're doing for them. But she understood the crop top. She understood why, why my mom says that, you have to protect yourself by the way that you carry yourself. Like we don't always know, if whatever we said stuck. So just in case you didn't know, Courtney, it's stuck. It's stuck.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
That's something I haven't even thought about. Bella and I have done a lot of growing up together.
Yes.
And that is, boy, I am going to have to really process that statement later because I'm going to try not to cry at the moment. I very much appreciate that.
Well deserved. Well deserved.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And that's what it's all about. I'm going to change up the wording on this next question for you a little bit, Tracy. You talked a little bit about the experience of being a mentor, but I kind of want you, and actually Courtney as well, to kind of dive a little bit more into your introspection, your personal perspective of what it means to be a mentor. What are you getting out of being a mentor?
Well, what I'm getting mostly out of being a mentor, it goes hand in hand, kind of like being a nurse. I specifically chose to go into pediatrics because I felt like whatever you put into it, the genuine pureness of children, you'll know what you're getting back. You know what I mean? It's not like adults who know how to word things or how to, it's raw, it's real, So when I walk away from Bella, I can gauge whether or not it's like, okay, hey, we had like some real moments, like the moment I just spoke about, for her to even be comfortable enough to do that, with me, what I mean? No matter what, I'm not her family, I'm not her blood, I'm not her day to day, but that she was able to be so transparent, it fortified like who I am as a person, as well. So it brought me to understanding I need to pursue this further, I love the way she laughs, she giggles, or when she's tired, I could gauge that, so it gave me that sense. And as a mom as well, when I heard her, like I said again, not to bring it back up or make her cry or anything like that, it made me realize that in my own life that they have that statement that, you never know what's being said about you in the room you've never stepped into. Well, Courtney never knew what was being said about her in this room that we stepped into. So myself, I don't know what Bella's saying, but I hope to give her like the best experience, So that would be my response to that. I hope I answered the question, All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So from my perspective on that, I'd say Tracy said that, she wants to give her a good experience. And what we've loved about this is that a good experience is not a perfect experience. Tracy's a human. Erika's a human. We're humans. Gosh, we probably drop the ball more than anyone else in this whole relationship, but it's another person that's there that you can count on. It's not perfect. Schedules don't always work out, but just having a force, another human being there that kind of understands, and that we get a lot of people that love Bella the same way that like Disney princesses, love kids. Like this is great. This is wonderful. She's so, bubbly and whatever, but then she's a real person also. And she has ups and downs and good sides and bad days. And, we want someone who sees all of that and appreciates her for it. And I think we've really gotten that out of this program.
This next question is for you, Bella. We've heard Tracy share some of the things that you've shared with her about your relationship with your mom and how much she has done for you growing up. But I would love to see or hear from you. Are there other things that perhaps you've shared or you've learned from Tracy so far?
So far, what I've learned from Tracy is that she's kind. She's a nice person that I can always talk to if I don't feel comfortable with talking about something with my parents. And when we talked about umbrellas, my mom, she just always makes it try to be there for me. I just couldn't believe how my mom was like from working 2 jobs from when I was born to now being an older sibling with 2 younger siblings. It's just, yeah, she's always there for me. And what I learned is that when I'm at the Y, I can be myself. I don't need to change or hide anything in the past. I can always talk about it with Tracy.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I understand that everybody knows you at the Y in Zumba.
Yes. I like Zumba.
We gave that away while you were gone, Bella.
I like Zumba. Zumba class is energetic. I like energetic music.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Isabella, one of the comments that you missed while you were being reconnected is that you are a pure joy.
Oh.
And I just want you to know that we said that about you. You are a joy.
Thanks. That really means a lot.
Very welcome. Very welcome.
We had this one moment. I wasn't sure. I was talking to Erika when we had a check-in, and I'm like, she told me that her last mentor was very active, or whatever the case is. So I was a little concerned if I was active enough for Bella, so to have, and Erika was like, no, actually, and she gave me like other ideas because I didn't want to fail in, like, sometimes we have scheduling issues between us. Like, I didn't want to where we weren't actually connecting, and it would be because of my schedule or their schedule, what have you. But listening to Bella right now, and I didn't know that she felt that way. I wasn't sure. We don't talk about, hey, how do you feel about me? How do I feel about you? We don't really do that. We just have moments, like my very first Zumba class with her. That was our first class together. And it happened to be my birthday weekend. And she tried everything to make sure that they celebrated me. I was like, no, Bella, please, no, Bella.
People went up to the front. I tried getting to do it. She was like, no, I'm shy.
And I said, believe it or not, I'm actually shy. Like, as easily as you see me talking, I'm actually shy. And she was like, but we had this one moment where we had this one particular move that we had to do, and we had to stand on one leg. Her and I were like, what? Stand on what leg? So we were balancing on each other to stay out. And I'm like, oh, if I fall and she falls, but for somehow we were like, I got you. She's like, okay, I got you. We're balancing off of each other. That was a moment for me, so. Some of these moves were like, man. So we got to balance off of each other. So I hope that's like the catalyst to our relationship, where we just balance off of each other, I'm glad that I've never told you I was there for you, but I'm glad that you sense it, because I'm definitely there for you, and I thank Erika for making this work. Like, as soon as my kids sound, they're like, oh wow, Mom, that's like, sounds like you're a match. You know what I mean? I had so many CP kids, but to see a CP kid like Bella, that's a whole other type of CP kid. You know what I mean? So an elevated CP kid that,
when I was at the doctor today, I told him I was going to do a podcast later, and they were like, oh wow, that's pretty cool.
Wow.
That
is cool.
It really is.
Oh, you're doing great, Bella.
Yes.
You're doing great.
Yeah.
That's the charm in Bella,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, Erika, this is for you. For all the listeners who may have, mentored in the past or currently mentoring, or considering becoming a mentor, what kind of training and support does this program offer to volunteers who are considering it? And how do mentors and mentees get involved?
Okay, so I'll turn your question around. So how do you get involved? First of all, you can go to our YMCA.Atlanta.org website, select programs, and under that you'll see Reach and Rise. Click on Reach and Rise, and there is a mentor application on there, as well as mentee referral application. So if parents want to refer their children to the program. So the mentors complete an application, and then I will get in touch with them. We also have group mentorship. So we have a group mentoring director, Mackenzie, who would reach out to them for group. We do an interview, and then following that, we do a 15 hours of training. Our program is therapy-based, so cognitive behavioral therapy-based mentoring. And we train mentors in that, but also just pretty much like a lot of eventualities and things, worst case scenarios, a lot of things that they would need to know, right? So they get a lot of training. I was fortunate to just complete a training with 14 new mentors, and a few of them had done mentoring programs with other organizations and said how much they appreciated the training that we gave and how thorough it was. So I think that's kind of a real positive for our Reach and Rise program. And just to know that, in our association, we're an association of Ys in Atlanta. So although I'm based in Kennesaw, at Northwest YMCA, we do serve all of our branches. So if a mentor is closer, to one of our other branches, such as the Andrew Walter Young or Carly Sanders Y, we're going to match them with a mentee who's close to that branch also. So they can serve right in their own community, which I think is key, right? If they want to help kids in their own community, they can serve in that community. So that's the way to get involved, is just go to our website or reach out to me, Erika S. at YMCA.Atlanta.org.
All right. So we've reached the end of our episode, but as we do in all of our episodes, we like to ask our guests the same question. And that is, we'd like to hear about your pathway to the Y story. In other words, how did you first get connected to the YMCA? And why don't we start with Bella?
I first heard of the YMCA from my grandparents. They have a YMCA membership from them to me and the siblings. Then we were like, maybe my mom was like, we could try something and see how it goes. And yeah.
So you have gratitude for your grandparents for introducing you to the Y.
Yep.
I like it. And then Courtney, how about you?
So we, as I mentioned earlier, where I used to work, we had a lot of outreach stuff that we worked on. And so the person who worked in Cobb County let me know that there was this mentorship program they'd heard of at the Y. We filled out the application and then they called us, and now we just feel like part of the family.
Yeah, it's really beyond the Reach and Rise program. It sounds like it's, provided a lot of opportunities for the whole family.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Tracy, how about your first connection to the Y?
Well, as I said earlier, and Erika reminded me of the details. So basically, I myself, I work from home, but my daughter works at the Y, and she's also a mentor as well. So at the time, she was about to get into the program. And then she said, Mom, I think you would be a great mentor, as I said before. And so we took the class, the class ended up being great because I felt like it touched on like different ways of learning. We had in person, we had virtual, she had various ways. We had the book, we had role playing. So it made it like a no brainer, especially like the role playing and I think looking back, we got to gauge like how it could be. We might encounter some things that aren't, we didn't romanticize. They didn't romanticize it for us. They made sure that we understood, and knew our limitations and also how rewarding it could be. Like you hear Bella, she's gone to different, she's gone to Brave Games. She's done. So there's ways that they can make sure that we all connect, so they foster that relationship. It's kind of like an agency, So they foster that relationship. So it made it easy for me to join,
And your daughter's first job at the Y?
That was her first job in this state, but,
okay.
That was, come to think of it, what am I talking about? That was her first job ever. That was her first job. She came out of college. Not college, out of high school. We moved here during COVID. And then as soon as, they were still wearing masks by the time she was working, and she found, a community, and she kind of pulled me in, they're more like family to her. And in essence, I've learned a lot about them. They know about me. Like as soon as I met them, I felt like I knew them all along, so my daughter definitely fostered that relationship,
That is fantastic. Erika, you have a really good story, as I recall. Do you mind sharing it again?
Okay, hopefully I tell the same one. So, the one I'm thinking, so I first got connected with the YMCA in Canada. Mm-hmm. Was that my story I told last time? Okay, so yes, so I got married and we moved to Canada, and I started volunteering at the Y actually. And funny thing is, a couple of weeks ago, I was sorting through some old files. I was trying to get rid of some stuff, and I found in a file holder the certificate, my Group X instructor certificate that I did there to be a volunteer Group X instructor, because I couldn't work because I didn't have a visa. So it's actually now in my office here at the Y.
Cool.
I put it, yeah. So that was kind of neat. I found that a few weeks ago. So yes, I volunteered at the YMCA in Burlington, Ontario in Canada as a Group X instructor, and also they had a literacy organization there. So I also volunteered teaching English as a foreign language. So that was my first Y involvement. And then of course, every time I moved thereafter, I was like, I just want to join a Y. So I joined Y's. One, I volunteered, one in Cedar Rapids, one in Iowa, one in Columbus, Georgia. And then when I moved here to Kennesaw, I joined the Y. So I've actually been a member here since 2002 and worked here since 2013. So they recruited me too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
and we are better for it. What a blessing.
A Y alumni.
Absolutely.
I am, yes.
Mm-hmm. International Y alumni.
Right? Yeah.
You guys, this has been fantastic. Thank you for your openness and sharing your story about the mentoring journey. And Bella, have a wonderful week of vacation with winter break.
Thank you.
And good luck this summer going back to Camp High Harbor. That's exciting.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Yeah, you should be.
Yeah. You'll probably see Taylor there. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I hope I do.
You will.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Y Podcast. To continue the conversation or to find your closest Y, please connect with us at ymcaatlanta.org and sign up for our newsletter, Healthy Together.
Yeah!